imagine this. You are sitting down right now in a beachside cafe. Let's say you're in Pattaya.
Oh yeah, that is a great spot to be.
Right. You've got the ocean breeze, tourists are everywhere. The seafood restaurants around you are just completely full.
Totally packed.
Exactly. And the bars are packed with energy as the sun starts to set. You take a sip of your coffee, you look around at all this economic activity, and you start wondering, what if I didn't just visit here? Like, what if I started a business right here on this beach?
I mean, it is the ultimate daydream, right? Millions of people visit Thailand every year for the beaches and the nightlife.
Yeah, absolutely millions.
But shifting from being a tourist who just consumes in that economy to an entrepreneur who actively builds in it, well, that requires navigating a radically different world.
It really does. You think about opening a beachfront bar or, I don't know, boutique hotel, maybe a motorcycle rental business.
Sure.
But then almost immediately, the practical questions hit you like a brick wall. Can you, as a foreigner, actually just open up shop in Thailand?
Yeah, that's the big question.
Right. And if you can, what does the machinery of that process actually look like? We are not talking about dense legal theory today. Our mission for this deep dive is to figure out the actual practical pipeline.
Which is so crucial because places like Pattaya are they are massive hubs of international opportunity.
Oh, massive.
Entrepreneurs from Europe, Australia, North America, all over Asia are constantly looking at these markets. But operating legally means understanding a highly specific framework, one that is designed to protect the local economy while, still allowing foreign investment.
And to figure out exactly how this works, we've pulled together a massive stack of source material. We've got legal frameworks, operational guides to foreign business registration, and licensing rules in Thailand.
It's a lot of paperwork.
It is. And we are also partnering with Miya Solutions for this deep dive.
Right, which is perfect for this.
Exactly. They are a real estate investment and business consultancy based right there in Pattaya. So we are essentially looking at the exact playbook they use every single day to help foreigners set up shop.
It's the inside track.
It really is. And if you want a free consultation with them, their contact details are right down in the description. So let's jump right into the deep end.
Let's do it.
If you are sitting in that cafe and you decide to take the plunge, how do you legally, blink a business into existence in Thailand? Where do you even begin?
Well, the foundational phase is registering a company under Thai law. This entire process, it runs through a government authority called the Department of Business Development.
Okay, the DBD.
Right, the DBD. Once they approve your application, you receive your official corporate documentation. You now legally exist on paper.
So I've started companies in the US, and I know in places like the UK, you can basically register an LLC online in 24 hours for about $100.
Yeah, it's very streamlined over there.
Tell me this isn't going to take 6 months and drain my savings just to get a piece of paper in Thailand.
The time frame will actually surprise you. If your paperwork is properly prepared, the actual registration process with the DBD usually only takes about 1 to 3 working days.
Wait, 1 to 3 days?
Yeah, 1 to 3 days.
Okay, that is incredibly fast. I did not expect that. What is the actual price tag to get that done?
The initial setup cost generally ranges between 15,000 and 20,000 Thai baht. Now, that figure usually includes the service fees for the legal or accounting agency you hired to do it.
Right.
Because, as you can imagine, dealing with government filings in the Thai language is not something a foreigner can easily DIY. Having a local agency or consultancy manage this is just standard operating procedure.
Okay, wait, let's do the math. 15,000 to 20,000 baht is roughly, what, 400 to 500 US dollars?
Yep, around there.
And it takes a couple of days? That sounds
Yeah.
way too easy. I mean, I could literally put that on a credit card before my coffee gets cold. There has to be a catch.
Oh, there is a catch, and it's a massive one.
I knew it.
It revolves around the fundamental structure of the company you just registered. Under Thai corporate law, foreigners generally cannot hold more than 49% ownership in a standard Thai limited company.
Wait, hold on. 49%? You're telling me I can't even own half of the company I am entirely financing?
Correct. The legal requirement is that at least 51% of the company's shares must be held by Thai nationals.
Wow.
Yeah, this means you are required right from the starting line to bring in Thai partners or shareholders.
Okay, let's unpack the reality of that, because that is a terrifying mental shift for an entrepreneur.
It is. It really scares people.
If I own 49% and my local partners own 51%, basic corporate logic tells me they have the majority vote. What stops them from simply voting to lock me out of my own beachfront bar the day after it becomes profitable?
That is the exact fear every foreign founder has. And it is precisely why you have to understand how these companies are structured.
Okay, so how does it work?
You aren't just handing over the keys to a stranger and crossing your fingers. This is where professional legal structuring comes in. The law dictates the number of shares that must be Thai-owned, but it doesn't necessarily dictate that all shares must have equal voting power.
Ah. Okay, so we are talking about different classes of shares.
Exactly. A good legal firm will often structure the company using a mix of ordinary shares and preference shares.
Right.
So the 49% held by the foreigner might be granted disproportionate voting rights, say 1 vote per share, while the 51% held by the Thai partners might require 10 shares to equal 1 vote.
That is fascinating. So legally, the Thai partners own the majority of the physical shares, satisfying the government's 549 ownership rule.
Yes.
But operationally, the foreign founder retains majority voting control and directs the business.
Precisely. It is a legally recognized mechanism. It allows the government to maintain its ownership quotas while giving foreign investors the security they need to actually bring their capital into the country.
That is brilliant.
But it also highlights why you cannot do this alone. You need experts to build that specific corporate architecture. If you mess it up, you really could lose your company.
That makes total sense.
Agree.
Now, let's look at the next big hurdle, because the legal guides emphasize this registered capital requirement.
Oh, yes, the capital requirement.
I'm looking at this number here in the source. 2 million Thai baht. It says if I want to get one single work permit for myself, the company needs a registered capital of 2 million baht.
That's right.
And if my buddy from back home wants to co-found it with me and we need 2 work permits, that jumps to 4 million baht.
This is undoubtedly the concept that causes the most panic for new entrepreneurs.
Rightfully so. 2 million baht is roughly 55,000 US dollars. Do I need to show up at a bank in Bangkok with a suitcase full of cash just to prove I can open a small coffee shop?
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
Because if that money has to sit frozen in a checking account before I even open the doors, that completely kills the dream for a lean startup. I mean, nobody has that kind of liquid cash just lying around for a tiny cafe.
Let's clear this up right now because it's a huge misconception. The documentation explicitly clarifies that this requirement does not mean you must have 2 million baht sitting liquid in a Thai bank account.
Okay, my blood pressure just dropped significantly.
I get that a lot.
Then what exactly does registered capital mean in this context? How do I prove to the government I have it if it's not a stack of cash in a vault?
Registered capital is essentially an accounting mechanism. It is the financial structure of the company on paper.
On paper, okay.
When you register the business, you are legally declaring that the company is authorized to issue shares up to a total value of 2 million baht. It represents the theoretical scale of the business and the limit of liability for the shareholders.
So it's an assertion of value, not an actual cash deposit.
Exactly.
But why does the government tie that specific number to my work permit? Why 2 million?
Because the government uses that registered capital figure as a metric to ensure your business is substantial enough to justify foreign labor.
Ah, I see.
They want to see that the company has a large enough financial foundation, again on paper, to absorb the salary of a foreign director and the local staff you are required to hire.
Right.
Your accountants handle this structure during the setup phase. It's a legal threshold to filter out tiny fly-by-night operations, but it does not mean your working capital is locked up in a government vault.
Okay, so let's review the journey so far. You've hired a consultancy, you paid your 20,000 baht,
Right.
you waited 3 days, you have your company structured with preference shares so you maintain control, despite the 51-49 split.
All done?
You have your 2 million baht in registered capital set up by your accountant. You officially exist.
You do.
But, a beautifully structured company on paper cannot mix a cocktail. It cannot hand keys to a renter. How do you, the foreigner, actually legally get behind the counter and start working?
To legally pour those drinks, you need a Thai work permit. And to get that work permit, the government uses your business as leverage for local job creation. This brings us to the famous 4-to-1 rule. For every single foreign work permit your company requests, you must employ 4 Thai staff members.
Wait, hold on. 4 local hires for every 1 foreigner.
Yep, 4-to-1.
What if my business model is just me, my laptop, and the consulting service? Or what if I just want to run a tiny lean operation? I have to hire, train and manage 4 people before I'm even allowed to make a single bat for myself.
Yes, you do. And it is meant to be a high hurdle. You have to look at the macroeconomic strategy here.
Okay, explain that.
Thailand is a highly desirable place to live. If they allowed foreigners to just pay a 20,000 baht fee, register a paper company, and hand themselves a work permit, you would have hundreds of thousands of people setting up shell companies just to get a long-term visa.
Just living on the beach without actually contributing anything to the local economy.
Exactly. The 4-to-1 rule forces genuine economic participation. It guarantees that if you are extracting value from the Thai market, you are directly providing livelihoods for 4 Thai citizens. And the government tracks this meticulously. These cannot be 4 random names you wrote on a piece of paper. These employees must be officially registered, they must be on the company's actual payroll, and you must be paying their monthly contributions into the Thai social security system.
Wow. Okay, so you really have to be ready to step into the role of a manager and an employer right out of the gate. There's no such thing as a solo foreign entrepreneur in Thailand.
Not really, no.
So let's assume you find your 4 employees and you get them on the payroll. What is the actual pipeline to get yourself into the country and legally working? Because right now we are still just tourists with a company on paper.
Right. This is a very specific sequence of events that requires precise timing. First, you need the right visa. Most foreign business owners must apply for a non-immigrant B visa, which is the specific category that allows you to conduct business activities.
Can I just go down to the immigration office in Pattaya and apply for that?
Usually no. The standard protocol requires you to apply for this initial visa outside of Thailand.
Wait, outside?
Yeah, at a Thai embassy or consulate in your home country or a neighboring country.
Why do they make you leave the country just to apply? That seems so tedious.
It acts as an external pre-screening process. The embassies review your massive stack of corporate documents, your DBD registration, your shareholder list, your registered capital proofs. They look at all of it before they even let you into the country with the intent to work.
Okay, so it's a filter.
Exactly. When they approve it, they grant you a non-B visa, but it is initially valid for only 90 days.
90 days. That is absolutely nothing when you're trying to launch a business.
It is not a lot of time at all, and the clock starts ticking the second you enter the country. Within that 90-day window, your company must formally apply for your actual work permit. The visa gets you into the country for business purposes, but the work permit is the physical booklet that legally authorizes you to perform labor.
How long does the work permit take to process once you submit it?
Usually around 7 to 10 working days, assuming your consultancy has perfectly prepared the application.
Which is why you hire them.
Exactly. Once that work permit is approved and in your hand, you are finally allowed to legally operate your business. But remember, you are still sitting on a visa that is going to expire in roughly 2 months.
Right, because of the 90-day limit. So what happens then? Do they just stamp my passport for the next 5 years?
Not at all. It is a highly fragmented, incremental process. You take your new work permit and you go back to the Thai Immigration Bureau. First, they will usually only grant you a 1-month extension on your visa.
1 month. Why are they stringing me along like this? That sounds so stressful.
Because that 1 month is essentially a probationary stress test. The government is checking to see if your business is actually operational. They want to see a month of legitimate payroll. They want to see that you actually paid the Social Security for your 4 Thai staff members. In many cases, immigration officers will literally show up at your registered business address to take photos of you and your Thai staff working together.
Wait, they physically audit the business? Like, they come to your office or your bar?
Yes, they do. So they are making sure you didn't just fire the 4 Thai employees the second your work permit was approved.
Oh, wow. Okay, so they are verifying that the economic contribution is actually real.
Exactly. Only after you pass that probationary period and prove ongoing compliance will immigration grant you the remaining 11 months. At that point, you finally have a full 1-year business visa that is inextricably linked to your work permit and your company.
Okay, that is a complete gauntlet.
Yeah.
So let's look at our checklist. You registered the company, you structured the shares to maintain control, you proved your registered capital on paper.
Yep.
You hired your 4 local employees, you navigated the embassy, the 90-day window, the work permit, the 1-month audit, and the final extension. You survived the pipeline.
It's a lot.
It is. But you walk up to your new beachfront bar, you unlock the doors. Are you actually legally allowed to turn on the music and start pouring drinks yet?
Well, you are legally allowed to be there, but you might not be allowed to turn on the music. Now we enter the operational phase, and the regulatory environment here is incredibly specific.
How specific are we talking? Give me an example.
Okay, let's use your beachfront bar scenario. To run that bar, you obviously need a liquor license. But if you want to play a Spotify playlist through your speakers, you need a completely separate music license.
Wait, a specific license just to play music?
Yes. And if you allow customers to smoke on the patio, you need a smoke license.
You're kidding.
I'm not. And if you are serving a bowl of peanuts with those beers, you need a food license.
That is wild. Imagine you finally get the doors open. It's Friday night. You've got the liquor license framed on the wall. A customer lights a cigarette. A local acoustic duo starts playing the guitar, and suddenly the police walk in and shut you down because you're missing two distinct 10,000 baht licenses.
It happens.
It sounds like an intricate menu of bureaucracy. It's almost like you're paying a subscription fee just to create an atmosphere.
Exactly, it's a subscription fee. And just like Netflix, if your credit card lapses, or in this case your annual renewal fee lapses, the screen goes black. The authorities will literally come and turn the music off. Each of these individual licenses must be renewed every single year, and they typically cost between 6,000 and 10,000 baht each.
So if I have liquor, food, music, and smoking, that's potentially 40,000 baht a year just in atmospheric subscriptions before I have bought a single bottle of rum or paid a single employee.
Which brings us to perhaps the most vital takeaway from all of these operational guides. Remember that initial 20,000 baht setup fee we talked about at the very beginning?
Yeah, the part that sounded way too easy.
Right. That initial setup fee is nothing but the tip of the iceberg. The true test of a foreign entrepreneur in Thailand isn't having a genius business idea or paying the initial legal fees. The real test is managing the ongoing administrative scaffolding that keeps the business legal month after month.
Let's break down that scaffolding. What does it actually cost to keep the lights on legally, even if no customers walks the door?
Let's look at the fixed monthly obligations. First, there is the Social Security contribution for those 4 Thai employees. The company is legally obligated to match their contributions, which runs around 1,200 baht per employee every single month.
Okay.
Then there is the personal income tax for the foreign director. That's you. To maintain your work permit, you have to pay monthly income tax based on the minimum required salary for your nationality. This can start around 450 baht per month, but, it scales higher.
Okay, so monthly Social Security for a team of 4, plus monthly personal tax filings. Who is keeping track of all this paperwork? Because I want to be running my business, talking to customers, refining my product. I do not want to be filling out complex government tax forms in Thai every Friday afternoon.
And you really shouldn't be. That is why almost every foreign business retains ongoing accounting services. They manage the monthly bookkeeping, the withholding taxes, the VAT filings, if applicable, and the Social Security payments.
That makes sense.
In Pattaya, standard monthly accounting services usually cost around 2,000 Elena.
Honestly, 2,000 baht a month, which is like 55 bucks, to not have to deal with that administrative nightmare sounds like the best money you will ever spend.
Oh, it is entirely essential. And their role becomes even more critical at the end of the year, because at the close of every financial year, your company is legally required to prepare a full audited balance sheet and financial statement.
An audit every year.
Every single year. This report must be submitted to the government to prove your financial activity and compliance. Preparing and filing this annual audit usually costs an additional 12,000 to 15,000 baht.
And I am assuming you cannot just skip the annual report if you had a slow year and want to save some cash.
Absolutely not. Skipping the annual financial reporting triggers immediate government penalties, and it can jeopardize your corporate status. If your company falls out of compliance, your work permit becomes invalid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and if your work permit becomes invalid, your visa is canceled. Staying meticulously compliant is literally the only way to keep your doors open.
Okay, let's take a breath and synthesize all of this, because we have covered a massive amount of ground today.
We really have.
What we have learned from this deep dive is that starting a company in Thailand is entirely possible for foreigners. I mean, people do it successfully every single day.
They do. All the time.
But it is not a matter of simply hanging an open sign on a door and hoping for the best. It requires meticulous planning, precise legal structuring to protect your interests, and most importantly, a clear-eyed understanding of the ongoing administrative machinery. From the 4-to-1 hiring ratio, to the fragmented visa audits, to the atmospheric licenses.
Yeah, it is about being fully prepared for the reality of the system, rather than getting blinded by the romantic fantasy of a beachside business.
Which again is why navigating this maze is exactly the reason consultancies like our sponsor Miya Solutions exist.
Right, exactly.
If you are serious about taking the plunge in Pattaya, trying to DIY a corporate share structure or a multi-stage visa pipeline is just a recipe for disaster. So reach out to them for a free consultation using the details in the description. Because having a guide through this bureaucracy isn't a luxury, it's a requirement.
It mitigates an enormous amount of risk. And
Yeah.
stepping back and looking at all these legal mechanisms, like the 51% ownership rules, the mandated local hiring, the social security obligations, it reveals a fascinating point about the nature of doing business there.
Oh, what's that?
Well, we've been looking at this through the lens of legal requirements and corporate mechanics. But if you read between the lines, these rules reveal a deeper cultural philosophy. If the law mandates that you must partner with locals, and if it requires you to provide a livelihood for 4 local families just for the privilege of working there yourself, you aren't really just building a business, are you? You are being legally mandated to build a community.
Yeah. Wow, that is a profound way to look at it. You aren't just an extractor. The system actually forces you to be an integrator.
It completely shifts the perspective of what entrepreneurship means in that environment. So the final question I would leave you with is this. Knowing that the law requires you to integrate with local partners and support local families from day one, how does that change the way a foreign entrepreneur should view their solo dream on a beach?
No, it's good. No, I only see a brown spot, but that's it.
Oh, no, this one before.
Oh, this is nice.
Nice to you. This one.